Matt Damon sat in a cozy cafe in the heart of the city, sipping his coffee and looking out the window at the busy street. The quiet hum of the cafe was a welcome relief from the chaos of his life. He had just wrapped up a long day of interviews and meetings, and he was craving a moment of solitude. He often sought places like this, small, tucked away spots where he could escape the spotlight and just be a regular person for a while. The warm light from the vintage lamps cast a golden glow on the wooden tables, and the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. For a brief moment, everything felt still. It was a rare and peaceful moment for Matt, who had spent years in the public eye. As he sat back in his chair, he couldn't help but appreciate how much he valued moments like this. As he gazed outside, lost in thought, the cafe door opened, and a young man stepped inside. He hesitated for a moment, looking around, and his eyes landed on Matt. He seemed unsure of himself, his hands clutching a backpack strap. After a few moments of deliberation, the young man slowly walked toward Matt's table. His heart raced, his palms sweaty, but there was a quiet determination in his stride. "Excuse me, are you Matt Damon?" the young man asked, his voice slightly shaky. Matt, looking up from his coffee, smiled warmly. "Yeah, that's me. How's it going?" he replied, motioning to the empty seat across from him. The young man, still standing, hesitated. He was around 19 or 20, dressed in casual clothes, jeans and a t-shirt, but there was an unmistakable nervousness about him. After a few seconds, he sat down slowly, as if unsure whether or not he had the right to be in this moment. I I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of your work. I've watched almost every movie you've been in," the young man said, his voice still tentative. "But there's more. I've been trying to be an actor myself, but I don't know if I'm good enough. I feel stuck, and I don't know if I'm cut out for it." Matt leaned forward, his expression softening. He recognized that feeling. He knew what it was like to feel lost, unsure, and to doubt your abilities. "I get it," he said, his voice calm and genuine. "When I first started, I felt exactly the same way. I had doubts. I didn't know if I could do it, but I stuck with it because it's part of the journey. It's okay to feel lost sometimes." The young man looked up at Matt, his eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and hope. "But how did you keep going?" "I don't know how to push through these doubts," he confessed, his shoulders slumping a little. Matt smiled knowingly. "You know, it wasn't easy. There were plenty of moments where I thought about giving up. Rejection is part of the business. I've been turned down so many times that I lost count. But I learned that those rejections weren't a reflection of who I am. They were just part of the process. What matters is that you keep showing up, even when it feels like you're getting nowhere." The young man's eyes filled with a mix of hope and disbelief. He had heard this kind of advice before, but hearing it from someone like Matt Damon felt different. It felt real. "But what if I fail again?" he asked, his voice filled with fear. Matt's gaze softened even more. "Failure is part of it. No one gets it right all the time. But here's the thing. Failure doesn't define you. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning from your mistakes, getting back up, and trying again. And trust me, the more you fail, the closer you get to success. It's all about persistence." The young man nodded slowly, the words sinking in. "I never thought about it that way," he said quietly. "I've been so focused on what I haven't achieved. I've missed all the lessons I've learned along the way." Matt nodded in understanding. That's something a lot of people forget. They focus too much on the end goal and not enough on the journey. Every step counts, even the hard ones. Every failure, every rejection, it's all part of your growth. The young man seemed to relax a little, a weight lifting from his shoulders. He looked at Matt with a newfound sense of clarity. "Thank you," he said, his voice stronger now. I think I've been letting fear control me, but I'm going to start focusing on what I can control: my attitude, my work ethic, and how I handle the setbacks. Matt smiled proudly. That's the right attitude. Keep going, and don't let fear stop you. Keep showing up, and the right opportunities will find you. Believe in yourself, and the rest will follow. The young man stood up, more confident than when he sat down. He smiled at Matt, a sense of gratitude in his eyes. Thanks again, Matt. You've really changed the way I see things. I won't give up now. Matt nodded, giving him an encouraging smile. Good luck. And remember, never stop believing in yourself. As the young man walked out of the cafe, Matt sat back, reflecting on their conversation. He hadn't done anything extraordinary. He had just shared some wisdom, a few words of encouragement. But that small moment of kindness had made a real difference in someone's life. Sometimes that's all it takes to change the course of someone's journey. Matt took another sip of his coffee, a quiet sense of satisfaction washing over him. He knew he hadn't just helped someone in their career, he'd helped them believe in themselves again, and that was the greatest gift anyone could give.